So if you were to go back over 100 years ago, 4 out of every 10 babies that were born, they didn't make it to their first birthday. Now, today, 5 out of every 1,000 babies make it to the first birthday. That's an 8,000-fold improvement, 8,000-fold. Now, of course, this is due to many things: improved hygiene, clean drinking water, vaccines, even pasteurized milk. But perhaps one of the biggest reasons for this dramatic change is the last 70 years of antibiotics. But over decades of overprescription and overuse, we're now seeing a frightening situation in hospitals where a huge number of bacterial pathogens or disease-causing organisms, they've now developed genetic mechanisms, genes that confer resistance, and it allows them to defeat even our strongest drugs. Now, we know very little about the process through which these genes emerge, and to date, there's no dedicated computational tool to analyze and characterize these genes from the huge number of DNA sequencing projects that are taking place. Now, just how we can perform this high-throughput analysis of DNA to better understand antibiotic-resistant genes is the focus of my research. Now, when it comes to analyzing DNA, over the last number of years, we've seen enormous breakthroughs in the technology to sequence DNA. But the pitfall is we're now producing more data that we can actually analyze. Now, biology isn't the first sector to encounter the big data problem. If you look at other industries, think of companies like Google or Facebook, they've been dealing with big data in a different way, but they've been dealing with it nonetheless for a long time now. So, the technologies that they use to tackle big data are to use large clusters of computers, where all the computers work together in a way to quickly and efficiently process the data. Now, these technologies, of which there are many, what we commonly refer to as cloud computing. So by developing new software to run on the cloud, it enables you to process huge data sets in a very fast, very scalable, and crucially, very cost-efficient way. Now, the goal for my research is to develop a tool using the cloud that can analyze, identify, and characterize antibiotic-resistant genes from huge amounts of DNA data. Now, in fact, when you look at cloud computing and biology, the integration of using cloud computing for biological problems is now seen as one of science's grand challenges. Many biological problems have now kind of morphed into big data problems. And so the interdisciplinary solution of using cloud technology with biology's big data sets is going to be vital as we move forward into a more data-centric world. Now, ultimately, unfortunately, all antibiotics, they will eventually fail. As resistance spreads and becomes more commonplace, something which is already happening. There is time before this eventuality, but if we're to slow its spread, new and powerful approaches must be used to help battle its rise. My research goal is to create a tool that will help in this fight. Something that can influence decisions and guidelines in antibiotic use. Something that can help us understand how bacteria can be manipulated to help us reduce our dependency on antibiotics, and also how to help us extend the lifetime of a current and probably last generation of antibiotics that we currently have. I believe if we don't do everything we can do now, we risk taking a gigantic step back from modern medicine, including that very, very hard-fought 8,000-fold improvement. Thank you very much.
Well done, Robert. And Christine, our final question.
Thank you, Robert. The approach that you're taking, can it be applied to other big problems that we have outside of antibiotic resistance?
It can, it already is in some sense. So if you look at something like, say, genome assembly, when you sequence a genome, it doesn't come off the assembler in one big long sequence. So your genome is it's like a 3 billion long letter. Okay, so 3 billion letters in a row. But when it goes through the sequencer, it comes out in snippets of 100 letters each, like randomly. So you have to try and assemble that genome back into what it was. And what people don't understand is that each piece of each genome that you sequence is actually sequenced 100 times over to make sure you don't miss any pieces. So you now have a 3 billion piece puzzle you need to put back together, and each piece has 100 redundant pieces. So that effort to do that computationally is enormous. And when you look at something like the cloud, the ability to scale up to an almost infinite number of computers and make the cluster as big as you want, you can make that problem something that takes weeks to months, can be done in 3 to 4 hours. So it has enormous potential across all areas of biology, I think. Yeah. Okay.
Want to be in the audience next time? Click here for tickets to Inspirefest 2017.